Scan the comments on any viral endurance video, and you'll find a recurring sentiment. The challenge is easy, and the critics would effortlessly walk away with all the prize money if they were the ones in the video. For this challenge, Jimmy Donaldson, better known as Mr. Beast, decided to call their bluff. He invited his most vocal internet critics to leave their keyboards behind and prove their supposed endurance in a controlled environment. These critics are about to learn that the distance between online bravado and physical reality is massive. This experiment exists solely to expose that gap. The initial premise feels like a gift. Stay in a luxurious 7-bedroom mansion equipped with private theaters and arcades. The last person to leave the property keeps it. But luxury is a deceptive baseline. The high-end amenities serve as the bait, designed to lure the participants into a state of comfort before the real experiment begins. This schematic reveals the hidden mechanics of the house. We can map the mansion as a framework for systematic behavioral dismantling, designed to attack the group's resolve from 4 distinct angles. These critics walk through the front door prepared for a vacation. They are entirely unaware they have just entered a machine built to test the limits of human psychology. The first phase of the breakdown is environmental deprivation. It starts when the group's primary source of passive dopamine, the television remotes, is stolen and hidden. Without digital pacification, the contestants experience an immediate psychological regression. Boredom sets in, rapidly mutating into a level of irritability that poisons the social atmosphere of the house. This lack of stimulation leads to irrational physical outbursts. Contestants begin destroying the very property they are competing for, ripping doors off frames, throwing mattresses over balconies, and pouring ranch dressing onto the carpets. When passive entertainment vanishes, the human tolerance for discomfort drops to 0. Participants who claim they could stay for years find themselves forfeiting a $1 million mansion for trivial comforts, like a fast food meal or a chance to see their cat. As the group attempts to establish a new baseline of order, the production introduces the next pressure point: forced proximity. Borrowing a rule from a previous video, the survivors are physically handcuffed to a partner. The chains have no set expiration date, leaving the pairs with no idea when they will be free. Spatial autonomy is now a luxury of the past. Basic bodily functions and simple logistics turn into sources of intense social friction. Every movement requires a negotiation, and every minor annoyance is magnified by the inability to walk away. Stripping away the ability to be alone turns peers into obstacles. Social exhaustion becomes the primary driver for elimination, as the psychological weight of constant contact becomes more than the critics can bear. On day 40, the physical chains are removed, only to be replaced by invisible ones. A hand scanner is installed in the bunker, creating a permanent behavioral tether for everyone remaining. This diagram illustrates the scanner rule. Unpredictable alarms sound randomly, requiring a scan within 30 seconds, even asleep. This jagged chart tracks hypervigilance. The brain cannot predict the alarm, never resting. Stress spikes with every sound, never returning to baseline 0. The luxury beds are abandoned. Out of pure anxiety, contestants begin sleeping on the hard floors, directly beneath the scanners, sacrificing their physical comfort, just to ensure they don't miss the window. Urgent, unpredictable sleep deprivation bypasses willpower. It dismantles the mind's cognitive defenses far more effectively than any physical obstacle ever could. For the final few, the challenge reaches its most extreme state: complete isolation. The survivors are separated into small, featureless rooms. Every external stimulus is removed. They are left with blank walls and survival rations consisting of rice, oats, and beef. The mansion's vast space has shrunk down to a few square feet of solitude. A brain starved for input will resort to desperate measures to stay occupied. The contestants begin inventing absurdly repetitive tasks just to escape the pain of total understimulation. True isolation forces the mind to turn on itself. One contestant is seen counting to 100,000 out loud, using the sheer weight of the numbers to keep his mind tethered to reality. While the isolated critics struggle to maintain their sanity, the external environment is undergoing a full restoration. A corporate sponsor easily repairs the shattered doors and stained carpets, returning the mansion to its original state. But the mental state of the contestants cannot be restored with a fresh coat of paint. The experiment ends with a final irony. The physical house is brand new, but the egos of the internet critics are entirely demolished. We return to those initial claims that surviving a beast challenge for $1 million is easy. Winning this prize pool requires a staggering capacity for attrition. It is a relentless assault on the senses that demands a level of mental fortitude most people have never had to test. The gap between typing a comment from a comfortable bedroom and surviving a calculated psychological gauntlet is a chasm that most human minds simply cannot cross.